Assalamualaikum everyone. Hi, I'm Alfi.
I'm Chika.
I'm Dzikri. And I'm Zulan.
So we are from group 4, and on this occasion we would like to explain you guys about assumption, bias, stereotype, and also author's POV. So this is our table of contents, and now we're gonna move to assumption. Alright, so is there everyone here who knows what is assumption? So an assumption is an unexamined belief. So what we think without realizing that we think about it. Our inferences, also called conclusions, are often based on assumptions that we haven't thought about critically. So basically, assumption is about something that you accept as true without question or proof. So this is the example of assumption. They make the naive assumption that because it's popular, it must be good. So I made this assumption that he was coming, so I was surprised when he didn't show up. So we know from the example itself that we already believe that it is true, even though without any proof. Okay guys, now we're gonna move on to the next material, which is bias, that will be explained by Dzikri.
Okay, next material is bias. Bias is any trend or deviation from the truth in data collection, data analysis, interpretation, and publication which can cause false conclusion. So this is bias in data analysis. A researcher can introduce bias in data analysis by analyzing data in a way which gives preferences to the conclusion in favor of research hypothesis, reporting non-existing data from experiments which were never done, or data fabrication. Also eliminating data which do not support your hypothesis, or outlines, or even whole subgroups, unless using inappropriate statistical tests to test your data. And now bias in data interpretation, which is by interpreting the result, one needs to make sure that proper statistical tests were used, that results were presented correctly, and that data are interpreted only if there was a statistical significance of the observed relationship, and also overgeneralization of the study conclusions to the entire general population, even if a study was confined to the population subset. This one is publication bias, which is scientific journals are much more likely to accept your publication a study which reports some positive than a study with negative findings.
Okay, so we will talk about stereotype. Based on William, in the article define a stereotype as a cognitive link between two social or personal concepts, such as the self, social groups, identities, attributes, traits, and behaviors. A stereotype can be almost any thought that oversimplifies or overgeneralizes a person or group, and it can exist in the minds of many people or only one person. Stereotypes can link people to characteristics that are negative, such as criminal, neutral, such as enjoys basketball, or positive, such as good at math. A stereotype is an association between a social group and some features, such as physical, mental, behavioral, or occupational quality. It mostly consists of a generalization about a group of people in which self-same characteristics are assigned to all group members, regardless of the actual variation among the members. Example, if dark skin is the defining feature of being black, then the link between black and poor is a stereotype. Okay, so there are kind of stereotypes. The first is gender stereotypes. Gender stereotypes are structured sets of beliefs about men's and women's attributes, interests, competencies, and roles. Preschoolers already associate toys, domestic appliances, occupations, and colors with one gender or another, which is also reflected in their behavior. Children tend to behave in a way culture defines as appropriate for their gender. Individuals also construct their self-concept within the framework of these gender-based categories. And the second type of stereotype is racial stereotypes. In the article Economic Scarcity Increases Racial Stereotyping in Beliefs and Face Representation, the researchers focused on the commonly held American stereotypes of Black American people as being low in socioeconomic status, or SES, and threatening. In the American context, the low SES stereotype is typically expressed in terms of attributes and traits such as poor, uneducated, and lazy.
Alright guys, so now we're gonna move on to author's point of view. Okay, so author's point of view, most formal academic writing uses the third person point of view. So basically point of view is about how the author explain the way they want to tell the readers itself. And the most formal things in academic writing, they usually use the third person point of view. So third person point of view itself identifies people by proper noun, like a given name such as Joshua, or even nouns such as teachers, students, or even doctors, and uses the pronouns they, she, and he. And third person also includes the use of one, everyone, or even anyone. Wijayanti and Widyati in their study also identified a new phenomenon of author presence in academic texts. The dominance of the researcher as the most frequently occurring self-reference instead of the first-person pronoun I. So basically, usually the researcher rarely to use I in their research. They prefer to use this third point of view. And the present study has captured in detail the phenomenon of the researcher as the most prominent third-person point of view that EFL learners frequently employ as self-reference in academic writing. So okay guys, that's all from us. Thank you for watching and see you and I see you. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.